Out of high school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to go into. I was raised the son of a IBM executive, and so the expectation was pretty much programming and computer science. However, I had an experience after my freshman year in college working as a camp counselor where we took a bunch of kids to a ropes course, and the bunk that I was working with really had some pretty serious issues with one another. And by the end of the day on that challenge course, the entire dynamic of the group had changed, and it revealed some issues that had not been previously addressed. And 25 years later, those kids are all still very close. One of them just got married, and all of the kids from his bunk were present. But that opportunity and experience at camp led me to change my career path from computer science and engineering to go into the outdoor education field. Arbortrek came about at an interesting time in my life. In 2009, I had 2 young children. I was working as a zip line and aerial adventure course installer and trainer, and I was on the road almost 300 days out of the year. And in the summer of 2009, I left that career and accepted a job with Google. I came home to tell my wife about that change. And as I walked in, the phone rang before I had a chance to talk to her. And at the point of this big change in my life, I received a call from an investor who had done some research, had come across me on the web, and decided he was only interested in investing in the industry with me. We had a brief conversation, and I turned down the job with Google that day to go back into the industry that I really loved, with the financing that I needed to go back and open up Arbortrek and a series of operations. And a very easy to understand, so we provide opportunities for adventure where people can travel with their family or friends through the forest. One of our products is a zipline canopy tour where gravity does most of that work and allows people access to different reaches of the forest canopy with a very limited skill set that we train them in. Our other product, our treetop obstacle course, is for those that like to get physical. So it's a series of different wobbly bridges, rope swings, and cargo nets that challenge people's ability to persevere through difficult tasks.
From a parent's point of view, it gives them a place to bring their kids to just let loose, have fun, and enjoy what we have to offer with our obstacle courses, designed for kids as young as 4 to come out and play. The climbing adventures. As for the zip lining, that just gives more people more of a sense of thrill without undue risk.
The industry has grown fairly dramatically. We've had about 18 years now of double-digit growth. And last year, the U.S. market, just operators alone, generated about $1 billion in revenue. So between the parks that are in the United States right now, it employs a considerable amount of people. For example, Arbortrek over the last 10 years has generated over $600,000 in sales tax to go back into the local community. And consistently during peak season in the summers, we employ anywhere from 30 to 40 full-time people. Year-round, we employ about 6 full-time.
As far as the community goes, it's definitely helped provide a draw to the small town that Jeffersonville is. It's definitely a tourist town, and it just kind of added to one of the many reasons to come here.
For a situation we have here at Smuggler's Notch Resort, the hope would be to provide amenities that people are inspired by that would help them choose this resort to stay overnight. And the goal would be for those people that come into the local community as tourists to get them to stay one night longer. And that's really where we generate most of the revenue for the community. Direct or indirectly, there's benefit in the sales tax that's collected for the local community. But I think more than that, My mission as a business owner has always been to give back through developing staff. So with Arbortrek, we hire and retain staff that we think would have fun with our guests, even if we didn't have these great adventure activities, that provide our staff the opportunity to learn about our guests and to learn about people from different areas of the country, but then also to share what's really valuable about our area of the country.
The most unique opportunities that have come to me would be the different people that I've met. So many different people you meet working here from all around the world, and that's definitely opened up some unique opportunities and friendships.
Arbortrek is developed around the idea to educate, entertain, and inspire people. And we seek to serve three main goals. The first is to support our passion for wilderness and wild places and the preservation of those wild places. And to do that, we think it's important to get people out into nature and to immerse them. The second is to provide people the opportunity through novel adventure to escape the everyday rush of life and to get into an environment where things are slower, where they're focused on themselves and learning more about the world around them and the people that they're journeying with. And I think the last and probably the most important part of it is to provide people the opportunity to have an adventure and a story to tell where they are the hero or heroine of their own adventure.
I got started in the outdoors after I discovered that using a classical form of instruction teaching was not, I think, as powerful. So I was trained in Quebec to become a physical educator, so classic, gym teacher. And I discovered quickly during my teaching that the gym was not as powerful of an environment as, learning through movement in the outdoors. And obviously I decided to shift what I was interested to do in education to the outdoors.
Up here, you get to escape your daily hustle and bustle. You got mountains and forests. You don't got to worry about tax season or your jobs or anything like that. You just get to let loose and relax and let all the stresses of your daily life go away, because now you're forced to just pay attention to the family, pay attention to, okay, what can we do next?
What interests me the most about adventure education and using the outdoors for purposes is the fact that the outdoor context is what we call a novel setting. We bring our students into an environment as common to most people, the outdoors. And that allows our students to change their behavior or see the world differently. So it's all about creating that novel setting. There's all this possibility for growth and learning. And most students will positively respond to those experiences. So that's what I like the most, is the power of that setting, that environment.
As for the local school groups, something that a lot of people don't take advantage, especially from us, would be the team building. And I've seen a lot of kids progress a lot through that because it gets them closer with their classmates that would normally be overlooked.
There's many reasons why it's important now to work with young people in the outdoors. One of the first reasons that will come to mind is famous disconnect. So especially modern society have kind of a pendulum effect regarding what people do in their daily in life and how they work. And I would say the pendulum has been moving a lot recently toward communication through devices such as the computer we're using right now. So the screen time has increased a lot for youth, and there is some concern. And obviously, the field of outdoor adventure education is now seen as a potential way to balance that connection with life, so that we don't have young generation of people thinking they can only communicate and have human connection only through media of a screen. A balance, between social media and direct connection. And obviously, outdoor adventure activities requires to have basic face-to-face interaction. So the more that we have a generation of people that are staying away from nature, I think that's a dangerous situation for a civilization. So again, adventure education can be a remedy to help reconnect people, youth, the natural world, so that they become citizens that are aware of the importance of a connection with the natural world.
So many reasons for kids to participate in activities like this. I could use an example that happened to me, that happened the first year I worked here, that I'm never going to forget. We had this group come out, and it was about 40-something kids, and they got divided up, and I had about 8 kids and a teacher with me. And one of the students, we couldn't get her to leave her cell phone behind. And she refused to talk, wasn't communicating with anybody, didn't even want to put the gear on. But I basically told her, look, let's just put it on. You don't have to do anything. Long story short, I eventually got her up on the course, and I kind of fibbed a little and told her that no cell phones are allowed. You have to go put it back. By the end of the 2 hours that they were up on the course, she comes up to me, and she's sitting next to me on the picnic table out in the back 40, and she's looking up, and I was like, what's up? And she's like, I've never really paid attention to the trees before. She goes, and they make this really cool sound. I was like, that's the breeze going through the trees. And she's like, yeah, but I never really paid attention. She's like, you know what? She's like, I think I want to work outside. She's like, I want to do stuff like what you're doing. She goes, is it a fun job? And she asked me all kinds of questions about the job. And this is a girl that I couldn't even get to talk to me when she started or first got here. But I never forgot that girl. And so she actually thanked me multiple times. Like, that was amazing. She goes, I want to work outside. I'm going to figure out a way to do something outside in the trees. And I was like, day made. Actually, it's 5 years later, and I'm still talking about this girl. So I think that right there shows the many effects that it has on the kids that come out here.
A company like this here will fulfill a need for people to connect with nature. So most people have lost that kind of tradition of passing on those outdoor skills. So a lot of families are not able to teach their own children how to light a fire, or camping, or climbing, or those specialized activities. So there's always a need for a society like ours now to have specialists or companies or organizations that will provide that form of creation. It helps people to reconnect with a sense of adventure, of taking a healthy risk, as well as connecting with the natural world.